Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Ready, Set, Thrive. This week, I have joining us Elliot Prout from Offrs. And Elliot is the National Sales Director for this incredible lead generation platform. It's so much more than just lead generation, but I'm going to let you kind of dig in and kind of just start off by giving us a little bit of background on yourself and how you came to the company, as well as a little bit of backstory on the platform itself, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So my background, I actually have a financial background. I worked for Wells Fargo for many years in their mortgage department. Got kind of tired of that, and I started to look up, actually how I found Offrs, I looked up top companies to work for in Sarasota, Florida, like best companies to work for. They were number one on the list, so I said, okay, I got to check out what they're doing. It looked really cool. I have interest in the whole, housing sector from my mortgage background, and set up an interview. That was about 4 years ago, and here I am. I've been with Offrs for 4 years. Really cool company. That probably the best part about this company, besides the culture, is they're always adapting and evolving with the market. What we had 4 years ago is totally different than what we had 2 years ago, which is totally different than what we had today. And it's just a constant evolution based on, agent feedback and what we're seeing as a priority for agents as well.
For sure. I mean, talking about evolution, I mean, even over the last 6 months, we've had such a change.
Seriously. Yeah, this is a year unlike any other.
For sure.
So it's even more important to be kind of mobile. I mean, whether you're an agent or a company, right? You have to be mobile and adapt with the times.
Exactly. Very cool. Well, can you kind of give us a little bit of background about Offrs? And, when someone goes to the website and they look up Offrs, they might see a couple different things. They might see something about smart apps and smart brokers. Maybe kind of break that down for us, how all that works and how those all kind of come together.
Sure. Yeah. And there's a lot that we offer, and that kind of comes from what I talked about before, as far as us kind of adding things as we see a need. Mm-hmm. But really to keep it simple with Offrs, our sole goal is to help agents get more listings, and particularly listings that are outside of your typical channels. So outside of your sphere, outside of your referrals, outside of FSBOs and expireds. We want to identify listings in that pre-decision phase, because we know that the sooner you can be in the door, the better chance you have to get that deal. Right. So our approach is a little bit unique. When you think of Offrs, a lot of people that know us think of our predictive analytics. That's where we start. That's kind of what sets us apart from some other lead gen companies. And just to summarize that for you, we have this predictive algorithm. It's able to analyze previous sales that have happened in your area. So it's looking at a ton of data, probably about 250 to 300 different variables for every property. And it's everything from how long they lived there for, to how many properties they own, to financials, to life events, if they had a divorce or a career change or a new baby. And long story short, what happens is over time, it trains itself. It's got this artificial intelligence component to it. Power of
AI, exactly.
Exactly. And it can predict who's going to be most likely to sell next. Last year, we predicted 70% of all home sales nationwide before they actually went on the market. We already had them flagged as likely to sell.
Wow. You literally was just going to ask you, okay, what's the percentage of predictive analytics? So that's, you literally answered right before I could ask you. That's fantastic. Well, that's pretty incredible. And I would say, how many years now has the AI component been working?
Yeah, for about 6 years. The company has been around for 6 years. This is what we started with, being a data and analytics provider. I'd say probably for about the first year, we train the algorithm. It is machine learning, so it needs a certain amount of data to look at to be able to make accurate predictions. But ever since then, the last 5 years, we've been between 70 to 74% accurate predicting listings over that time. And, I think that's about as accurate as we can get it, because there's always going to be a percentage of sales that happen that are literally unpredictable, right?
Sure, exactly. That's pretty exciting. And that's pretty, when you're talking about, ways to supplement and generate more opportunities for your business. Real estate agents are spending tons of money on lots of different tools or lots of different promises in how something can create leads for you or how
Hmm.
something can help you build your business. And I mean, sure, with everything and anything, there has to be a measure of what you get out of something, what you put into it. Um, However, it is quite promising when you have the analytics behind you as well. That's pretty exciting as well. So um, I'd love to talk a little bit more about some of the different features. So I saw that there was what was called the Smart Apps functionality. So
Hmm.
can you kind of dive into that a little bit for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the base of our business, we're trying to predict these sales before they happen. That information, knowing where 70% of sales is going to come from, is only as good as what you do with it. We're not trying to recreate the wheel when it comes to generating listings and farming. We're trying to make that process more efficient for agents when they market to these people. And one of the biggest gaps that we've seen over the years is that we're really good at predicting who's likely to sell, but it's also a matter of automating the follow-up for that too. That agents have the best intentions, but there's not always the time to do that.
Right.
So we created we call them apps. We call them smart apps. And the best analogy I can make is to your smartphone. Like if you imagine the leads we provide are kind of like the contacts in your phone. You have John Smith, you have his phone number, you have his email, you have his address. And then the apps are it's like the app store. If you want to send him a direct mail, you can click on the direct mail app. If you want to send him an email, you click on the direct or email app. You can launch a Facebook ad to him. And these aren't so much designed to do like one-on-one contact like that. It's more of a mass marketing tool.
Okay.
But that's the point of the app. So the really neat thing is it allows you to automate marketing campaigns to the people that we know are most likely to sell. And more importantly, choose only what you want to use. Like you only pay for what you utilize. If you want to do direct mailers, you can pay for that. If you don't, you don't have to, or you can use another system to do that as well.
Okay, so of the smart apps that you have on the platform, can you kind of tell me so I heard you say something about you have direct mail campaigns. What other kind of campaigns do you have
Mm-hmm.
available through the smart apps?
Sure. Yeah. There's 4 major marketing campaigns that you can launch through our system. So the first one would be direct mail.
Mm-hmm.
Our direct mailers, they're 70 cents a piece, and it covers the print and the postage on those.
Okay.
And ideally, you would target just the most likely sellers, and we would send out a direct mailer every month to those
Okay.
people. That's one way. We also have emails. You can do a one-time email blast or just an email drip campaign through our system. Those are only a penny a piece, as well as voicemail drops. You've heard of slide dial. You can just
Mm-hmm.
record a voicemail, drop it directly into their phones. So that's the other option. It's also 1 cent a piece. So those are some ways you can kind of brand yourself. The most popular marketing that we do is actually through social media, primarily Facebook ads,
Mm-hmm.
because how we market on Facebook, we actually are using a custom audience. So instead of blanket marketing an entire zip code, Facebook's really gotten stingy on who you can market to,
Right.
like as far as discriminating against who you can market to with real estate. But since we are not a licensed broker, we can still market to a custom audience. And that's a big advantage because we're only targeting people that we know are likely to sell, and Facebook charges you for every impression that you make. So we can generate leads at a much lower cost. We automate that for the agent. And the nice thing is we just notify you when a new lead comes in. So we say, hey, here's John Smith. That lead's exclusive to that agent. It's not like there's 10 other agents getting that lead. And it's a warm lead at that point as well. It's just expecting a home valuation from an agent.
So can you kind of touch into that? Because, as far as when we talk about custom audience from, the user side as real estate professionals, when we're utilizing a custom audience, we're bringing in our own data and creating our own custom audience to either run brand awareness or marketing campaigns. When you're talking about a custom audience through Offrs, is that sort of a collective custom audience that's through all of the people that your company as a whole is reaching, and then you'll round robin those leads accordingly to depending on sections? Or can you help me understand how that works?
Yeah, absolutely. So like an agent would pick like what zip code they would like to run Facebook ads in.
Okay.
And we would go in, we would pull a list of all the most likely sellers in that zip code. We have every property scored from 100 to a 0 in that zip code based on how likely they are to sell, based on those 250 variables I talked about.
So your custom audiences are So basically all of the data that you are generating through the AI learning through Offrs, those people become the custom audience that you are marketing to for the Facebook ad campaign. So they're actually getting in front of the people that are most likely to be moving soon.
Exactly.
That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun stuff right there. That's pretty impactful. So, and you get to do that advertising without having to be under the same custom audience special ad category that most real estate agents have to do?
That's right. I believe it's because we're not an actual brokerage. So we're a lead generation company, so we can market to whoever we want to, like just any other company could do.
Wow.
When you're licensed as an agent, you're restricted in that way, as of, I think, about 2 years ago.
Wow. So it's almost like a little workaround.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. The caveat is, we're not licensing the agent because we can't, but we license our own brand, and we say, are you planning on selling your home? Get a free value report here. They click on that, and then that goes directly to the agent to reach out to that person.
Very, very cool. Okay, so this sounds so incredibly cool that it sounds like it's probably going to be super incredibly expensive. So let's do this. Let me ask you this, because I did a little research, obviously, but so there's other tools out there in the industry that have probably their success rates could be comparable or near comparable, but maybe through different means. I don't like to compare brands, but let's say that there's, major competitors out there, like there's like Zillow Premier Agent. There's other types of, ways that people generate leads that tend to translate for them. How would you say that the monthly cost for your platform compares to that of something that a lot of people are already spending a lot of money on anyway?
Yeah, in my experience, it can vary because you have a lot of options as far as what you want to do through our service.
Right.
You can pay $50 a month, you can pay $1,000 a month, depending on your budget and what you want to do.
Right.
But I will say in general, we're priced much more affordably than a typical lead gen platform, because at our core, we're a data provider, right? So you can buy a decent sized territory with us for around $100 a month. That gives you all the leads, all the most likely sellers, their contact info, notifications when people are looking at their home values, all that's included. The only thing that's not included with that is like the marketing that you would do, and you can do that through us or another system. So to answer your question, the entry level is very small, and that's important to us because we have to price this in a way where an agent can recognize return on their investment.
Sure.
That's the goal of any marketing campaign or starting with any lead gen company, and we can't price ourselves out of the market. So it does allow you to build your own campaign. It is based on the seller side, which a lot of our competitors aren't true competitors because they produce more buyer leads, more or less.
Right.
So sellers is a bit of a different animal, but it is priced affordably in that way.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. And that's one of the things that we do see a lot is, sure, there's a lot of different, reputable brands out there, but you do see a ton of buyer leads that come through. Seller leads are always one of the bigger challenges. I think any real estate professional would agree that, whether it's cultivating your own ad campaign, or if you're nurturing your own sphere, or you're using an outside platform, finding a really strong translated opportunity can be really challenging. So I'm very excited by the thought of having really strong predictive analytics coupled with custom audiences that are not bound by some of the struggles that we have on our side over here. So that's pretty cool stuff right there. So now how does an agent go about if they say, okay, I would like to kind of have this territory or this area? Can you kind of talk about how your territories work?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've done is we've broken up the whole nation into what we call territories, but they're actually census tracts. It's what the U.S. government uses to count census data. So every zip code is different, but a zip code might have 6 different census tracts in it.
Sure.
And we have actually a map on our website. You can go on there, you can punch in your zip code, you can see the different territories that we have, and we'll show you the stats of each territory. So we'll show you how accurate our algorithm was in the last 12 months at predicting sales in that neighborhood.
Right.
We'll show you how many properties there are total. what the cost would be based on that and how many sales we're anticipating in the next 12 months.